Good day, folks. Welcome to the MB Wildman channel. On today's video, just real quick, we're talking today about trapping abandoned structures, abandoned buildings on properties that you've got permission to trap on or hunt on. These can be absolute gold mines. These are, I think, absolute gold mines for multi-species. All kinds of different critters will visit in a couple of three different ways these abandoned structures that you find out on the properties. Listen, if you haven't yet subscribed to the MB Wildman channel, we sure would appreciate it. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you like the content that we put up, go ahead and hit that bell. You'll get notified when we upload new stuff, so you don't have to miss any shows. So here we are. We're back on a piece of property. I just got permission to trap this not too long ago. Now here in New Brunswick, if it's not posted no trapping, then we are allowed to trap on it as long as it's not too close to houses or whatever. So anyway, I still like to get permission, especially on a big, this is a huge piece of ground. This is probably for 400 acre piece of ground in here. And I've got permission to be in here doing some trapping. And the landowner tells me, oh, by the way, back this trail, that trail, there's an abandoned building. So here we are. We just come upon it here. It's nice. Actually, it's probably one of the more solid abandoned buildings that I've seen in my days. But what I want to share with you is the different ways in which animals approach structures like this out in the wild. So this has been here for years and years and years and years. Animals are not shy about this. They're not scared about it because nobody's here. It's abandoned, right? There's no human activity here, so they've got no reason to fear it. What they see, what most animals see right here, is they see shelter. Or they see a food source because you've got mice, you've got small animals like squirrels, little birds, build nests in here, whatever. And so depending on the type of animal that we're targeting, they might see this as a shelter source, or they might see this as a place where food might be, so they're going to check it out. And they also see it as a curiosity. Most animals, both canine and cat, will be, they're used to the woods, but something different, anything different, they will have a tendency to go simply out of curiosity and check out. Now, granted, this hasn't been different in 100 years, but still, you're going to get animals that come through and check it out just on the fact that, hey, look, there's something, and they check it out. It's been my experience that there's three different ways for you to go ahead and set traps at an abandoned structure. So the first way is the approach. So if you take a look at this structure right here, I'm kind of at the side of it, and over there is where the main door is on that side. And then this side here is a bit of a more jungle area to get through. If you just do a quick walk around, you'll see that there's at least one main trail, main approach going into every abandoned structure. I have not yet found a structure, no matter what its condition, out in the woods that didn't have a regular animal trail beat down to it. Could be raccoon, could be porcupine, could be skunk, could be anything. But whatever makes that trail is not relevant. Everything, for the most part, will use that same trail to approach this place. Okay? So the first thing to look for is the trail that approaches this structure. All right, so here's my structure. And again, you just need to take a quick little look. This isn't rocket science. As I come to this side, there's the sort of the door up there where you might normally get in. And you can see right here, clear as day, at least I can. Oh, so you can see right here, clear as day, you've got a trail right here coming right through there that approaches, goes right this way, right? So really obvious trail. A really obvious trail coming right in. Comes right into the edge of this. So the trail actually continues on, and you can see that it goes by that piece of junk and then goes right up that way through the woods right there. Okay? So if I was a trapper, which I am, obviously the trail's right there. I just walked you up that trail right there. So again, depending on your state, province, laws, whatever, whether you choose to put a snare here, conibear set, leg trap, whatever it is that you want to put here, depending on what's legal in your area, and depending on the species you want to target. What you will find, though, is that most species approaching this area are going to use that trail. So be prepared to catch a number of different things. And if that's, that's usually most of our goal, catch what you can catch, which is great. But if you don't want to catch raccoons, don't set a trap on this trail, because you will catch coons. You might even catch porcupine if that's in your area. Just whatever's there is going to be using this trail. Okay, so that would be a great set. And again, I showed you where it approaches and then where it leaves. So there's also a trail on the other side. I would set multiple sets here, no question. Like I'd put one on this side of the building and one on that side of the building at least, especially if I'm snaring. That's a great opportunity to do multiple stuff. Now, again, real quick, just a tip, if you want to avoid certain species and it's illegal to snare in your area, I would snare these trails, because the height of my snare can dictate what I do and don't catch on the way in and out of this little structure. Okay, number 2, when it comes to set locations at abandoned structures is the under. Okay, so we talked about the approach. Now we're going to talk about underneath the structure. Almost always, you see this right in here? Almost always you're going to see that the bottoms of these structures, the underneath of them, is all dirt. It's hollowed out a little bit. It's worn down, and underneath there, you're going to see animal track. You're going to see animal scat. You're going to see signs of whatever animals are living in this or around this structure. So underneath here is another absolute key area where you can set a trap. For me, here in NB, I'd have a pail set right here in this corner. I'd put the 5-gallon bucket in there. I'd set my conibear right in the door with a nice little piece of beaver meat or whatever right in the door, right in the bucket. And that would be a set that would take for all the time here around this abandoned structure. So set number 2 is underneath the structure, and they're usually pretty quick, pretty simple, pretty obvious setups. For those of you that have been trapping any length of time, you just take a quick look in there and see what the best set for that, for your area might be. All right, location number 3 for your abandoned structure setup is going to be actually inside the structure itself. Again, every single one of these is going to be different, as you know. This one's unique in ways that I cannot begin to describe. So there was, looks like maybe a little kitchen area over here, a bunk up there, like a loft area where somebody might have slept. And then there was the floor down there. There's all kinds of dead stuff, and there's porcupine. There's actually a dead porcupine in there right now, some type of bunk structure. But the point of this is that actually you can see there's a bunch of activity from animals inside the structure. Now you're going to catch most of your stuff outside it, because animals are going to be a little hesitant to go inside depending on the target animal that you're looking for. But you can actually set sets inside the location, inside the structure, keeps them out of the weather, keeps them running longer. They're out of the rain, they're out of the snow, all kinds of things like that. When the weather does get real bad here in New Brunswick, if I have, some of these locations that I can set, again, a pail set in here is real good, or, like a dirt hole set, depending on what the floor looks like, or any of those types of sets can work for the inside of the structure, and they're always going to be working, right? The place doesn't fill with snow too bad, and they'll be able to run. So inside the structure is your third setup for your abandoned structure sets. All right, folks, well, that's it. Just quick and easy. Just a few tips and a couple of ideas for if you've got abandoned structures on areas that you're allowed to set traps on. So I hope this helps you out. And until next time, happy hunting from the NB Wildman channel.